The best camera drone in its class, or an overpriced and overrated way to make you buy the next generation? Here's the DJI Mini 3 Pro, the way I see it after 2 months of using. Hey everybody, really good to meet you. Michael is my name. What we do on the channel is to inspect fresh, cool tech like, the DJI Mini 3 Pro. And it's my first video that I do about this drone, although I got it really early, given all the delays that other people has faced with the delivery. I got the units really quickly.
Obviously, DJI didn't include me in this first wave of testers, probably because I don't have orange hair.
So, full disclosure, DJI obviously do not sponsor this video and they have zero impact on the content that I'm going to show, but this episode does have a sponsor, and this is PGI Tech, and more specifically their One Go 25-liter edition backpack, something I have been using almost the whole summer up until now. It's been remarkably comfortable, super useful, and you can find more about this backpack in the video description down below. In this video, I'm going to base all my experience collected up until the middle of August 2022, meaning that there already have been a few firmware updates. I think there already is enough knowledge to share about this drone, and if you follow the channel regularly, you notice that every time I do an e-bike or e-scooter review, I most likely would include some drone footage, which gave me yet another booster to use this buddy most frequently. So we're going to divide the video into 3 major sections. We're going to talk about the hardware and the possible combos that you can offer. Then we're going to switch to the camera, the image quality and the overall performance. And in the end, I'll talk about the software and the AI smart features like automatic tracking and such kind of things. So the hardware, and I can use just one word to describe the hardware of the DJI Mini 3 Pro, and that would be brilliant. It's remarkable, amazing and fascinating how DJI managed to include that much hardware and features within the weight of 250 grams. Let me put it like that. The DJI Mini series up until now were seriously cropped in terms of sensors and AI features. Now, with the new 3 Pro model, DJI adds most of what you would find with the full-size drones like DJI Air 2 series, even the Mavic 2 Pro. I know that having invested in the Mavic 2 Pro means you've spent a whole lot of money, but in 80% of the situations, especially if you mostly film video, this drone is no wash, costs much less, and is extremely lightweight. There are 3 different combos you may choose from, and this time the Fly More combo has a secondary role. The choice is between the pack with the new DJI RC, or you can go for the standard remote controller, or the non-RC controller edition, which also happens to be the cheapest one. The last option makes perfect sense if you already own a DJI Mini drone, or you have the DJI Air 2 or DJI Air 2S, because they have the same remote. But here's the thing, once you get your hands on the Mini 3 Pro, you're going to realize that the DJI Air series no longer have this edge over the Minis, and probably you would prefer to sell them, and in order to do so at a reasonable price, you want to do it together with the remote. I also had the chance to try out the new DJI remote. It's good, but not as good as justifying the price tag. So, in my personal opinion, better buy the option with the standard remote and use your smartphone for viewing the camera in real time. Most smartphones from 2021 and above, especially the mid-rangers or flagships, are for sure going to offer a brighter display. There actually is one more thing to consider about the battery, and by the way, you can check the status of the battery like that. Although if you pull this out and the battery status is gone, and you can check it again in case you pull the battery back in, or if you buy one of those fancy expensive chargers which are included in the Fly More combo. But I so far never had the need to buy such. And that's not the point of everything. I actually wanted to share with you that there's a plus battery which sadly is not available for European customers. So lucky you, my dear non-European customers. You're not my customers, you're DJI customers anyhow. The point is that unfortunately in Europe you can't get this battery, which is giving up to 40 minutes flight time. So if we think about the best value of the drone that you can put together, I would go for the regular Mini 3 Pro with the just basic DJI RC, and I would buy either one plus battery, or if I live in Europe, I would go for 2 intelligent flight batteries. The other thing is about the lens filters. Well, it's the very beginning of August when I'm recording the video, and I just got these filters yesterday. So they have been delayed like big time. You know, the order that I placed was almost 2 months ago, and it's been super weird. Funny enough, lens filters are not included with the Flymore combo. To quickly highlight the key hardware strengths in a nutshell: weight of 249 grams, 3-directional obstacle avoidance, 4K HDR video-capable camera, the extended battery option, foldable design, maximum speed of 16 meters per second, up to 34 minutes flight time with the regular batteries, and the new DJI O3 transmission protocol. At this point of time, I can hardly think of extra features that we can wish for. Beyond the numbers, I feel like the biggest upgrades are the flight time and the noise generated by the props. It's not entirely silent, but it is among the quietest drones I've ever heard. There actually are 2 things which I don't like about the hardware of the Mini 3 Pro. The first one is this horrible cap, and you need so much practice to fit it properly, and I have to take it offline and do it the right way. It's been bugging me since the very beginning, and if somebody is saying the old generations of DJI drones have a poor design cap, this is the most horrible one I've ever seen. The other thing which was super annoying is about the filters, because, well, not part of the Flymore combo, and so many delays with deliveries. So I had to be creative, and I've designed this thing, and this on the edges is hot glue. I know it looks horrible, but it actually worked really fine for the timing I was waiting for the original filter. So that's an idea for you. Going for the camera feedback, I really think we should start with the top camera features. Image sensor is 1x1.3 inches by size, 48 effective megapixels. The exact model is one of the best kept secrets ever. But if we need to rank the qualities that it provides, Air 2S, Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 3 series are the only drones from DJI that can offer better specification mix. Here, the camera is small and compact, has so many tricks that you would be mind-blown to notice the vertigo shooting mode, the possibility to point upwards, and the fact that it has focusing system. That's right, if you place an object close enough, there might be something like bokeh, although this is not really a priority for most folks. Since I'm filming videos most of the time, HDR is in place, and you can also count on the Cine-like mode, which records the footage in a specific way so that you have better options about fixing exposure and contrast, and also add more efficient color grading. In that regard, colors feel better, at least to me, as compared to DJI Air 2's color science. They seem to be close to the other Pro models. I've had the chance to take a whole lot of photos and videos. The camera has never disappointed, the dynamic range is excellent, low light performance also good, not as great as DJI's bigger drones, but really puts to shame the previous Mini models and even the DJI Air series. It's needless to say that the gimbal is superb, which might have not been the case given the fact that DJI used a unique innovative setup for the first time ever with the series. But no issues at all, with exception for a slight horizon issue which was present with the very first version of the firmware. Good news is that, in time, the camera will gradually improve. You know that the firmware updates are adding some nice features, and knowing that this drone comfortably records 4K at 60 frames per second and 1080p at 120 frames per second, I believe you only have to be creative and find good ways to fulfill the potential of this camera. If you film 4K mostly, and if the timelines that you use are in 24 FPS, then you can slow down the footage by 2.5 times, which is crazy good for a drone in this class. We also count on RAW photo format, which allows for way greater manipulations of the pictures in post-production. You have features allowing you to capture the photos at different exposures and then stack them together, turning the image into HDR, and that's really helpful. Both options are invaluable when it comes to low-light scenarios. Speaking of which, you notice that if there are some good-looking lights in the scene, the footage is actually well usable. There only is one thing I could identify as a drawback for the camera, and this would mostly affect the professional photographers and videographers, is the fact that we don't have control of the aperture. It's fixed. f by 1.7, which means wide open for what it's worth, and there really is a lot of light reaching the image sensor. The last big topic I would like to address here is about the software, and here I'm mostly going to focus on the DJI Fly smartphone app. Well, in case you use a smartphone for that purpose. If you're an Android user, you have to manually download the smartphone app from DJI's website. And in case you happen to own the new fancy DJI remote, you might have to upgrade the software from time to time because the app is already inbuilt. The time that you have to spend for connecting and placing the phone and get flying ready is less than a minute. There's an excellent phone holder, convenient placement of the cable, a lightweight smartphone app. I won't go through all the features available because there are so many reviews already. You may have noticed that I often use drones to follow me doing reviews of bikes and scooters, so I'm quite familiar with most functions of the tracking algorithms and can well guess where the drone is gonna go during certain movements, and because of that, I can confirm that ActiveTrack 4.0 is so much better than before. Simple example, using the parallel mode with DJI Air 2 never made the drone fly in parallel with me riding a scooter, it was always behind catching up. The Mini 3 Pro, on the other hand, just take a look, amazing. Well, there only is the drawback that in parallel mode obstacle avoidance shuts off, so that's something I would love to see enabled at some point, and I hope it's just a matter of a firmware update. All the remaining software features work well, and flying this drone is surprisingly easy and fun. The signal transmission is also good, although not that perfect. I usually start getting some drops if the drone flies at a distance above 1000 meters. I guess you can try to manually find the best channel for you, in case greater distances are a priority. In the past, there used to be the hacks about switching to FCC mode in case you're living in Europe, but given the stable transmission with the new DJI O3, that seems to be pointless. If I have to summarize, this is brilliant. You know, it's been stable, predictable, on par with the expectations, very often exceeding these expectations, and it has enabled me to perform everything I wanted as a creator and get the job done, and not only get the job done, but also deliver a lot more than what I've been expecting and hoping for. And I think, yes, the Mini 3 Pro is kind of a must-have if you want to own a good filming DJI drone which weighs no more than 250 grams. In a matter of fact, I do believe the only significantly better devices from their consumer portfolio are the new Mavic 3 editions, because this here is a meaningful replacement and upgrade to almost any other drone that DJI have released previously. Well, feel free to disagree with me, of course, and we can carry on the conversation below the video. I would love to hear from you. Which is your favorite DJI Mini 3 Pro feature, and which is the one that annoys you the most? I'd love to see that information. And that's been everything about this episode, hopefully useful. In case you have any other follow-up questions, feel free to ask. More information about the DJI Mini 3 Pro, link to buy it, and also some other ways how you can support the channel and help me in this journey to inspect more and fresh cool tech, you can find somewhere in the description area. Thank you very much for watching. Fly responsibly, and I guess I'll see you in the next episodes. See ya!